Now imagine trying to preview 12K footage on an 8K timeline and it's happening near instantaneously. Bro, sahi mein? Bhai sahab. Now it so happened that we had a system which could actually push everything to the max. Here it is. And we decided, let's test out DaVinci Resolve on this. Now we have 1 minute of 12K footage, 3 nodes, 2 of the most powerful graphic cards you could buy, and here's exactly what happened. Now the specs are on your screen. I also read them out for you. 9960X, 128GB of RAM system memory and 96GB VRAM on 2 cards each, the RTX 6000 Pro Blackwell. Now this is in no way a budget system. This is built specifically for a customer for their production pipeline. But hey, who says we can't test this out? So we pulled 12K uncompressed B-RAW footage from Blackmagic Designs website because hey, where else will we get 12K footage? Not possible. नहीं है Blackmagic camera. ले लेंगे अपने YouTube channel के लिए. Now we loaded it to 8K project timeline. That's 8192 by 4320. Now we took a 1 minute clip and put 3 nodes on it. 2 temporal noise reduction passes and an AI depth map. Now this is fairly standard workflow in regular high-end commercial work actually. And then we rendered it once on a single GPU and then using both GPUs. Because hey, we can. Now first, what we observed on single GPU. Just scrubbing through the clip, you can see it's already struggling to keep up. This is with preview resolution still at native. Every time I move the playhead, it's thinking. On a simpler timeline, this wouldn't matter. But with noise reduction and AI depth map enabled, the GPU is kind of already at its limits. Now previews were noticeably slower. Native resolution previews are basically unusable. You want to drop preview quality down or use proxies, which honestly you should be doing anyway. Nobody needs to preview at 12K. It's just not needed, bro. Now the render time was just about 6 minutes for 1 minute of footage. Bro, तो मतलब पूरी मूवी रेंडर करने तो मतलब रात में डाल के सो के उठता होगा वो. Now we switched to 2 GPUs. Same clip, same nodes, same playhead position, just scrubbing through. It's like night and day. The previews are smoother. We even turned on native resolution preview and it held up. The GPU Z readout showed nearly 60 GB of VRAM being used. Now the render time was just about 4 minutes. अच्छा खासा percentage improvement है, right? 6 से 4 सीधा. That's just about 30% faster. You would assume that it should be double, but it's not. We'll come back to that later. Now let's talk about how DaVinci Resolve actually uses GPUs. Now in DaVinci Resolve, if you mismatch GPUs, it goes with the slower and lesser VRAM card. So basically, if there's an 8 and 16 GB VRAM card, it just uses 8 GB. If there's a slower card, it just uses the slower card as max speed, which is why it just makes sense in a multi-GPU DaVinci Resolve setup to have the same GPU. Also why we see a 30% gain when adding an additional card. Multi-GPU scaling in Resolve is strong on GPU effects and not so strong on other AI related effects. Now let's come to the CPU and RAM. Now CPU utilization was just around 5% during the entire render. Resolve actually hands off everything to GPU and just makes the CPU chill. CPU chill marta hai usme. The Threadripper is actually useful if you're doing work like fusion, motion graphics, 3D compositing and stuff like that. That's CPU bound. For color, noise reduction, AI nodes, the GPU is doing everything. The CPU is kind of just a passenger. The lesson here is, in a DaVinci Resolve workstation, the GPU and VRAM is the spec that matters. Everything else is just like support stuff. Now, let's put this into perspective. 1 minute of footage, just 3 nodes, a 6-minute render time on a single GPU. Now think of a 2-hour film going through completion with multiple clips on a node tree. मतलब 3 node नहीं है. There's an entire node tree here. Multiple passes of noise reduction, AI tools running across the whole timeline. The render times on those kind of machines are measured in days, not minutes. This is why production companies run dedicated render nodes. Underspec your GPU and it's not just taking you longer to preview, it's actually delaying every other decision deadline that you have to make. The build behind me is actually for a different customer who's probably not going to be using Resolve, but hey, we thought it's in the house, let's test it out. And yeah, maybe give some gyan. If you're looking for a build or a workstation for your custom workflow, please do get in touch. Peace.